If I could only inspire one person to make a better life for tomorrow. Hey guys, I want to welcome you back to week 24 of my weight loss with Carnivore included. Now, I've been horribly sick for this last week. I'm feeling much better today, even though I do have a little bit of sinus drainage. So this video might be a little bit edit heavy, but we're going to see how we can get through this and hopefully give you all the information you'd be looking for, because being sick on carnivore is totally different than on the traditional type diet. And this is what I'm here to try to help you understand and let you know. But there are some benefits and a few drawbacks as well. So in this video, we're going to talk about my testimony of being sick on carnivore. Being morbidly obese like me is a choice, and it's not a death sentence. And I just want to make everybody aware. If you like supporting morbidly obese people like me trying to make a better life for themselves and hopefully share the experience with others, by all means, please subscribe to the channel, help our channel grow, and be sure to like the video. Now, I know quite a few of you are watching from a TV, and it's a little bit hard to subscribe or even leave a comment down below. So in that case, please just like the video. That would be a big help and help boost our channel quite a bit. Now, I know this may sound a little bit ridiculous, but every time I see a new subscriber on here, I do a little fat man happy dance because, yeah, hey, I got a new subscriber. Woo-hoo! So if you want to make a struggling fat man happy, just hit that subscribe button. Now on to the morning weigh-in. So every morning we get up, me and my cat Gray Bear, like this trusty old cat. I mean, she's not even that old. She's only about a year or two old right now, but man, she's been a huge help for motivation and getting me up and doing things in the morning. She walks me out every single weekend. It's just one of those neat things I guess I can share with you guys. But yeah, okay, let's get this scale out and get it set up and see what we're gonna have for today. Like I said, I've been sick, so I've been struggling all week. I don't have really high hopes, but you know, we're gonna take whatever numbers we have. And holy cow, 315.9, 316. Let's try that one more time and see what we can get second time. All right, we're looking at, 315.9. That's what we're gonna call it for the week. We got that 2 times in a row. I'm pretty happy with that number. So we're just gonna stick with that one. Let's see what we have for weekly numbers. So this is week 24, and let's see, 319.6 was last week's weigh-in. So now this week is 315.9. Let's see, minus that, that's a 3.7 pound weight loss for this week here. That's pretty good. And I got some interesting information about that I'm going to share here in a little bit, because I'm really surprised at that amount of weight for this week, considering what I did this week was completely different than what I normally do, because normally I do OMAD or 24-hour fasting, even when on carnivore. And that's not exactly what I did this week. So, all right. Now, when I started this weight loss journey, I was 435 pounds. So we minus the 315.9, that's going to equal 119.1 pounds total weight loss in 24 weeks. Yeah, we're getting closer, man. I'm trying to get down below 300 pounds, because as soon as I get down below 300 pounds, there's going to be a whole nother level of celebration going on there, because that puts me in normal obese range, which may sound like a ridiculous thing to celebrate about, but being normal obese is a huge accomplishment for me. The first major accomplishment was just losing the first 100 pounds. And if I could get down below 300 pounds and stay there for a substantial amount of time, I mean, that's pretty exciting stuff. And I hope to bring you guys along for the ride, because I'm going to feel like a totally different person if I can stay down below 300 pounds. But anyway, since I've been on carnivore, and it's been a little while now since I started carnivore, let's see, 335.6 pounds. That was my starting weight on carnivore, minus 315.9. So that's a total weight loss of 19.7 pounds since I started carnivore. That's pretty impressive. Now we're going to be fast approaching to, let's see, almost 2 months. I'm going to have to cut this right here and go double check so I can get you an accurate number on how many days I've been doing carnivore, or at least my best attempts at carnivore, because I'm not going to claim I'm doing 100%. I'm doing probably anywhere from 90 90% carnivore, 10% whatever happens. This week was a lot more strict. So I was right around 95% carnivore for this entire week of being sick with whatever this freaking superbug is that's been going around the country. It's like everybody's getting it. Everybody's getting sick. I've been having a lot of chest congestion, sinus drainage, hard time sleeping. And I use a CPAP too. So when I'm trying to sleep with a CPAP mask over my face and my nose is draining inside my mask, it's just absolutely repulsive. And I know some of my viewers are CPAP users, and you know what I'm talking about. It's not fun when you're trying to sleep with a CPAP and you just feel that drainage coming down the side of your mouth and it just pulls up if you're laying on your side. Blah, 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 blah. Anyways, yeah, it's a struggle when you're being sick using a CPAP. You get that. So I'm going to jump out here real quick and see exactly how many days, and I'll be right back. That was amazing. Okay. We just got the numbers figured out. So today, I believe, will be day 55 of carnivore since I started carnivore. Yeah, I lost 19.7 pounds in 55 days of doing carnivore, which is amazing because I've heard various stories about people not eating enough and not losing any weight, and people eating too much of this, that, or the other, and having some issues either with constipation, or some people had diarrhea. There's just stories are just all over the place when it comes to carnivore and how to exactly do it safely. So I've been trying to balance out the natural fats and stuff like that in my diet, and hopefully not have problems with constipation. Now, I only had one instance that I can think of, possibly two close calls with, being constipated with carnivore. And I just, I upped my electrolytes and I increased my magnesium slightly, and everything was cured within like a day or two. So it was just uncomfortable for a little while. Now, if any of you have been following along, when I first started carnivore, I was extremely on the fence. I did not know what to think about it. I also had a lot of anxiety wrapped around it because starting carnivore and trying to be, strictly meats and proteins and fats and stuff like that and cheeses. Now, thankfully, cheese can be added into the natural fat part of the diet, which was extremely helpful for me trying to get this started because I love cheese. I love butter. I love pizza. So, and that's another story. Loving pizza is another thing. And I do like some vegetables. And I just didn't want to say goodbye to all the vegetables that were out there in the world. I mean, I like some onions at times. I mean, tomato sauce is kind of doable for me. I'll only do it with like some lightly made sauced pizzas and stuff like that. Now I try to skip the tomatoes. I learned my lesson with apples. I'm not going to play the apple game anymore. I shocked my system with the natural sugars. Yeah. So like I said, I was extremely on the fence, just like when I started doing a ketosis type of lifestyle in the beginning, where I did a series of different fasts to get everything going, get my metabolism going. And then I started practicing, 24-hour fasting and intermittent fasting and moving the meal windows around. And that was extremely helpful for my initial weight loss of that first 100 pounds. So now that I'm doing carnivore, the same anxiety happened. Now, when I first started, especially in the first couple of weeks of doing carnivore, it was just like my brain was still in a fog. I had a hard time focusing on certain things because, I'm so hyper focused on what I'm taking out of my life, like what I'm thinking about possibly not having again for the rest of my life, like certain foods, snacks, special treats. Now, when I look at the holidays coming up, I look at the holidays as, the holidays are going to be the holidays. We're going to enjoy the holidays. Now, I do need to prepare myself, and I'm probably going to make another video about the holidays and what I'm planning on doing, because I'm trying to devise a special plan to come up with a way to get through the holidays without just completely obliterating all my progress up to this point, because that would be horribly sad for me, just ruining it. But, one day isn't going to ruin things. It's just when you take that one day and you just keep making that one day progressively worse each day, and then all of a sudden you got 30 days combined of just really horrible bad choices. That's how you wreck it. I mean, just one day of bad choices. Yeah, you're not going to wreck it. You're going to feel like crap. Hopefully you don't send your freaking whole body into some crazy whacked out situation where you're like in on diabetic coma because you did something stupid, like you ate a whole freaking cake or something. But yeah, so just enjoy some treats, enjoy some time with your family in the holidays. So being sick on carnivore was totally different than trying to be sick on the traditional crappy diet I had prior to losing weight in the first place. When I was 435 pounds, I was just eating nonstop. I mean, I'd wake up in the morning at like 3 or 4. I'd make some ridiculous freaking breakfast with a lot of fats and a lot of sugars, sometimes French toast and pancakes. And sometimes I just continue, just keep making those. And then I would move on to eating a snack. And shortly after a snack, I was planning out my next meal, which was usually before lunch. So I'm either eating second breakfast or first lunch, then third lunch, then fourth lunch, and then snacking in between those, and then eating dinner, and then eating more dinner, and then more snacks, and then probably like some ice cream and some Pop-Tarts. And there was a mess of food I was eating when I look back at some of my old food logs, and it's embarrassing to even think about, like, wow, I was doing that. And some of the days that I counted all the calories, some of the calories were anywhere from 6,000 calories up to 9,000 calories of just nonsense food. It was just so much food. I just didn't even notice it, because when you're looking at yourself in the mirror, even like remember back in the time when you were a child up until now, when you look out your eyes and you're just looking straight ahead, you're not even looking at your reflection. You don't feel like you look when you look in the mirror, if that makes any sense. Just like right now, when I look in the mirror, I still see the same fat guy, that was there 24 weeks ago. I still feel like that person at times. When I look down at my body and I see some improvements, I see a lot of improvements, but overall, what I'm seeing isn't what a lot of other people see when they look right at me. They're like, oh yeah, you're looking great. You lost a lot of your belly. You're getting a whole lot smaller. Honestly, I don't feel like I can see myself like that yet, because everything's happened so fast. And even when I'm at work, certain things that I'm doing, I'm really testing my limits right now because I've lost this much weight in 24 weeks. I mean, I'm still scared to walk downstairs at times, because when I first started, I couldn't do a flight of stairs. Getting up and down out of the truck, just even in and out of the truck, took a special step routine, and I had to master that so I didn't accidentally blow out a knee or twist an ankle or fall down or get hurt or slide up underneath the truck. And, doing these maneuvers in the wintertime it can be incredibly scary, especially for the morbidly obese, because 90% of the accidents up here in Alaska are slip, trip, and fall injuries. And that's how you get hurt. And especially when you're morbidly obese, like I was, that was a huge stressor, and it still is. I don't want to get hurt on the job. I mean, nobody wants to get hurt unintentionally, and then you're out of work for who knows how long, and how are you going to afford to pay your bills after that? So it can be a really, really stressful, scary situation. Okay, so back to being sick on carnivore, it was so much better than when I was sick on the traditional American diet, which could be any types of food I would make. Now, normally when I was sick, I'd make something like ramen noodles, and I'd load it down with just a ton of spices. Now the spices aren't so bad. I'd put some turmeric in there, and curry. Yeah, I got curry powder. I'd put a lot of garlic and stuff like that. But the ingredients overall that I was using were these, crappy ramen noodles, and they were just ruining my entire setup for getting healthy. Then I was eating a lot of sugary snacks that just made me feel good, because I tend to eat my emotions. And right now I don't really see myself emotionally eating like I used to, because before it was like, man, every time I had a happy, sad, glad moment, didn't matter what it was, I was into the food bag. I was eating. And I know a lot of you suffer from the same thing that I'm going through right now. And this is the only reason why I'm talking about this, is because we can hopefully relate on these topics in many ways. Because man, when you go through a massive depression for as many months as we have, or I have, or other people around us have, and sometimes their depression drags us into a depression as well, and it affects family members in the household, and we just don't realize it. We have a fog a big dark cloud that just covers the entire room. And we don't know what we're doing or how the hell to get out of it, because when everybody's messed up, it's really hard to get back on track, especially as a family. But now when I was sick, I was sick. I was really sick. I mean, I even had just random diarrhea episodes, and I'm a truck driver. Diarrhea and truck driving really don't go well together, because you have to plan out your day specifically. You're like, all right, I'm going to start out here. There's a bathroom here. Now I got to go from here to point A to point B. All right, where are the bathrooms that I can access in an emergency if I have to, like, I'm clenching my cheeks and I got to pull over now? Well, yeah, that was something I had to take careful consideration in, because I was fine right up until Wednesday morning. And then we got to the gravel pit. All of a sudden I had to get into the gravel pit like now, because I had to go. And it's like 20 some degrees outside, and I'm going into a really dark plastic room with a frozen toilet with no lights in there. So I had to turn on my cell phone light just to light up the inside of the porta potty, because it was pitch black inside there. I mean, it's dark at about 8 o'clock or 7:30 in the morning. And I believe it was about 7:30 or 7:45, but they just barely unlocked the gates. And I was so thankful for that, because I had access to get in there. And I was worried about the rest of the day at that point. I was worried about the rest of the day being like, am I going to be feeling like this all day long? Because you get the gurgly, bubbly feeling in your gut, and you're just like, what the heck? And it's just uncomfortable, especially when you're driving around a dump truck that doesn't have air ride suspension, and it's set up to haul heavy loads, and you're just hitting every bump on the road. And Alaska's not smooth. Nothing about the roads in Alaska are smooth. Even in the summertime, they can freshly pave a road, and they have this unique ability for putting speed bumps in the road every time where they try to meet the pavement to old pavement. Anyway, long story, but I struggled through at least a solid day of just random, I don't know when I'm going to need to poop. So I managed to muscle through that part, and thankfully it went okay. Now, another thing I did differently is at times this week, I only had one day early in the week where I was able to make a somewhat healthy breakfast. I made some like 3 or 4 eggs, and I threw some extra meat and some butter in there. And that was just to hopefully help balance out my energy levels, because I'm sick. I'm sick, man. I just did not feel good. My wife did not feel good. The house is complete chaos. It's starting to get somewhat back to normal. And one of my daughters is feeling much better right now, which is huge. Double thumbs up there. My son's still doing good. I'm starting to improve, but we're still struggling. We got laundry backed up. We got piles of stuff everywhere. I give my wife a super high five, because she did the dishes this morning, because I'm still not feeling great. I'm still feverish, and I'm still probably a little glossy headed, because my temperature's fine, but I'm still sweating. Hopefully I didn't bump the microphone there. So when you have diarrhea, especially in a situation where you're on the road, I was really focused on my water intake. Now, water intake and being sick and weight loss, you got to get the water intake up. So I was always drinking at least a gallon of water, sometimes more, because I'm also sweating on top of just sitting still. So my metabolism's working. My system's trying to burn off whatever's going on the inside. So you got to keep the water level up. The electrolytes were super important. And I would save that till almost noontime, and then I would start down in my electrolytes. It's got a little potassium and a little extra stuff in there, but it was helpful, especially keeping my energy levels on top. Now, another thing I did as well is I wound up, and now I've been avoiding the convenience stores like the plague. Convenience stores are my enemy up until right now. It took me a long time to wrap things around my head. Like, okay, what can I get inside a convenience store that's somewhat going to help keep me on task and not ruin everything, but it's also going to help keep me somewhat energized and healthy. So some of the foods I picked up were some beef sticks with cheese, pork rinds. That's something I keep forgetting about pork rinds and how helpful they can be, but it's easy to overeat pork rinds. But the one thing I noticed is I got a pretty good sized bag. It was about this big, but once I ate about half the bag of pork rinds, I was full. I mean, I was like full, like I ate a meal. And, they're real airy and fluffy and just have a lovely flavor. And yeah, they got a lot of protein too. So that was pretty good just with the pork rinds. Something else that I picked up was a bag of beef jerky. Now, the bag of beef jerky was, that they're pretty expensive. I don't know about where you guys live, but beef jerky is not cheap up here, but it does pack a lot of energy. And some of the ingredients might not be the best in any of the products that I picked up. So I'm at that point, I'm not even worried about, let's be super healthy. Let's cut out this, and this, and this. I'm like, no, we're just going to get this stuff to help keep my energy levels up so I can maintain it through the day and not crash while I'm at work, like literally crash. But my whole point is I didn't want an energy level crash while I'm at work because it would have made the rest of the day and finishing up the day a whole lot harder. So I had plenty of energy throughout the day. It was helping my body heal just by providing the extra calories and some of the little extra nonsense in there. And that's one thing that really surprised me, is because I added more calories this week and some nonsense ingredients in a lot of people's opinions. Because if you broke down the ingredient list on some of the products I had, as innocent as I might try to make them sound, some of those ingredients aren't great for you. And I understand that, but you have to balance out our poison, with our health benefits. At that time, I'm sick and I'm just trying to balance out and make a conscious decision. All right, I'm willing to take a little bit of crappy ingredients to keep everything working and get me through the day. Now, when I got home at the end of every single day, it was pretty much just a freaking mess, just trying to get home, get my dinner figured out. Now, I was eating steak for the majority of the week. The wife got a great deal. There were like these 4 or 5 in a pack of these sirloin steaks. And now these were pretty fatty sirloin steaks, and they had a lot of connective tissue in them. And that was probably part of the reason they had a sale on them. Now, I enjoyed those steaks. They were amazing. And I just cooked them all up at the same time. The family ate them all. Now, my family's not huge on eating steaks except for once in a while. And they like to have a variety of different foods throughout the week. So this made it great for me. So I had all these extra steaks already pre-cooked in a Ziploc bag, and I could just come home and boom, throw them in the microwave, heat them up. Now I heated some of them back up in the pan. I made some eggs with some of them, and, super healthy red meat. And I was starting to treat my food as my medicine at that point. Now, I didn't make all of my food my medicine for the week because I was suffering. I mean, I was having issues sleeping. I was having issues, with nasal pressure up in here, sinus pressure. So I did have some instances where I was taking different medication. All right, so let's see. What was I taking for medication? I was taking adult Robitussin maximum strength, night cough DM. This is pretty good stuff. I mean, this is almost like the old school cough medicine that we used to take when we were back in high school. This stuff, you take a shot of this and you're pretty much better by the next day. I don't know what they did with the good cough syrup and the good medicine we used to take, but this is pretty close. I mean, it kind of does the same thing, and it helped my body rest while I was sleeping. And so when I woke up the next morning, I wasn't feeling horrible. Now, throughout the day, I would only take this one time a day, and that was usually first thing in the morning, and that was just to get me started through the day. This helped relieve all the pressure in the front of my head. It did not affect any aspect of my job or anything like that. So I take 2 of these capsules here. They come in these really annoying foil wrappers where I don't know how people do this, especially the elderly people. How in the world do you get these things open without using a freaking knife and almost killing yourself in the process? Because these packages are really hard to open. Now, I haven't taken these for a couple days now, so that's good news. I'm able to talk. I don't sound super nasally right now, but these helps. And I didn't know they had so many different types of Sudafed out now, because the wife went to go pick them up and she's on the phone and she's like, well, that's probably her right there. But she's trying to figure out, which one do you want? And I'm like, oh, gee, I don't know. When I was a kid, there was like a box of Sudafed, and we used to just go to the gas station and pick up a box of that, take a couple, and we were good, for at least 24 hours or sometimes it'd cure our situation altogether. Um, so yeah, the food I was using as medicine. Yeah, well, I'm eating a lot of steaks. So that's got a lot of vitamins and nutrients in the steaks. But vitamin C, there's another thing. So, okay, vitamin C, and you're only eating meat. Where are you going to get your vitamin C from? Well, I was getting my vitamin C from eating liver throughout the week. Now, this is a brand, I haven't even tried this brand. This is something I picked up at Walmart. I just happened to see, but this has some nutrition facts on it that I can go over real quick. Let's see, vitamin A, 380% vitamin A. Calcium, 0. Vitamin C is 2%. That's per serving. Now, the iron is 30%. So, and it says here, serving size, 1 piece. So servings per container, there's 4. And as you can see in here, there's 4 pieces of liver in here. Now, I'm probably going to make some of this later, but this is Skylark, sliced skin, deveined calf liver. Now, if you ever buy liver the first time, something somebody recommended to me was make sure if you get it from your butcher, make sure it's deveined, because the veins can it can give you a really bad experience if it's the first bite you have. So it could be tough. If you got a family pet that likes to eat leftover stuff, you can take that piece and give it to the dog, or sometimes the cats even enjoy eating it. I'm finding out that my new kitten is very carnivorous, and she loves the cat treats that I give her, little pieces of meat or pot roast. Yeah, they love it. But anyhow, so the vitamin C that I try to avoid the most is this right here. Now, this bottle has been in my refrigerator I think it's been in there for almost a month now, and it's unopened still. I mean, it's organic orange juice. Okay, so let's see what we got in here. Sodium, 0. Total carbs, 26 grams carbs in here. Fiber, 1 gram. Total sugars, 21 grams of 21 grams of sugar in here. I mean, this is not just the orange juice sugar. This is 21 grams of added sugar, and this organic. It's organic, but we're going to add organic sugar in there as well. So yeah, they're not making orange juice like they used to make it when we were kids, and stuff we used to grow up with, back in the 80s and the 70s. A lot of that was fresh squeezed, or a lot fresher, and it didn't have a lot of preservatives in there. Now, it says in here, the ingredients, organic orange juice. Yeah, well, there's more than just organic orange juice in here. So especially, it says here, not from concentrate. Okay. I have a hard time believing that, because they love to put a little bit of orange anything in there. Then they like to add flavor, because they have to have this bright coloring. And if it's not the right coloring, they're going to add a little bit of something in there to make sure it looks like this in the container, because anybody that's ever squeezed their own orange juice and seen it in a glass, it's not always brilliantly bright. And I got a cat trying to break out of the bedroom, so I got to let her out. Get out of the ring light. Oh my goodness. I got my cats diving in the ring light. She has been a terror this morning. My little Dusty bear. She looks like when I got this cat, I wanted to call her Dusty, but my wife was adamant that the girls named the cat, and they call her Kiki, and now we call her Baby Bear because she looks so similar to Gray Bear, but she's a lighter color, and she's super dusty. And our other cat, Gray Bear, has never had kittens before, but she took this cat completely under her wing, and it's like she just adopted this kitten, and now that she's the unofficial mother to this new kitten in the house, which is fabulous. I'm happy they get along, because it's just been a lot of fun. Now, with the increased snacking I had throughout the week, yeah, I could have lost more weight without the increased snacking, but I would have taken a lot longer to feel this good right now, because I needed to increase my energy levels in order for my body to somewhat heal while I was doing my daily routine of driving a truck and hauling equipment around, getting in and out and doing that type of stuff, because that exerts a lot of energy. And if I didn't have those extra calories to burn at the time I was doing those things, yeah, I would have been a lot worse off, especially when I got home, and I might have had to miss a couple days worth of work. That's got to be Gray Bear. But okay. So a couple other things that I was using these honey cough drops. And the honey cough drops, yeah, they got some sugars, they got some weird stuff going on in there. I believe those were Halls. And yeah, the ingredients aren't exactly on the list of what you want to be doing when you're trying to lose weight. But again, I'm just trying to ease what's going on in my throat at the time. I'm not too worried about some minor ingredients at that moment. And they helped, especially with my sore throat, the nasal congestion draining down the back of my throat, and it was making my throat completely off the wall sore. So that helped out quite a bit. Now, something else I did want to talk about a little bit is some of the viewers and some of my close friends here in town. They call me and they want to talk about, what's going on with the YouTube channel? What's going on with my weight loss? What have I learned? And I love these conversations. Now, there's a gentleman that's all the way across the country. He reached out to me a while ago and he needed just a little bit of inspiration. And as he found out, I don't powder coat anything. I said, hey man, you want to do this quick or do you want to do this slow? Because I'm not talking about him specifically, but 9 times out of 10, when these conversations start happening, I hear a lot of, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't let this go, I can't drink water. I'm like, well, okay, so let me know when you can do something and we can have a conversation. Because until then, you're just going to have a hard time and life's going to really suck because you're going to be trying to do new things, but you're going to keep having issues because you can't do this or you can't do that. So once I got over the I can't do's, and it's something we all suffer from. I mean, I couldn't do a lot of things at first, and I don't expect anybody to start doing anything right away and do everything perfectly. I'm sorry, you're not going to do it. I couldn't do it. I can't say that somebody else is going to do it. There is that fraction of a percent of people out there that might get that figured out. I'm not one of them. I mean, I gained my success up to this point. If you want to call it success, I'm still morbidly obese. So yeah, but we're going in the right direction, I hope. But I gained what I got to this point by trial and error and a lot of practicing. Without the practicing, none of this would even be possible. I wouldn't even be able to sit here and talk to you guys about my experience because everything would have just been a complete roller coaster and a complete failure. And we'd be doing the whole bull crap of, trying to follow like Jenny Craig or getting a gym membership that I never go to. Even when I loved going to the gym all the time, it's not sustainable. This is what I'm trying to do right here is be sustainable about what I'm doing. Like, okay, let's be serious. How are we going to do this? How are we going to lose weight? How are we going to be able to sustain this weight loss long-term, especially after we're done? It's not going to be by going to the gym. It's not going to be by paying $90 for some crazy vitamin or some crazy powder, or let's go take all these extra things these people are selling out there. I mean, they try to sell you these programs, and I'm not about that stuff. I'm about, trying to show you, okay, we can do this. We can all do this together if you want to, because yeah, I'm all about everybody having a better day tomorrow. I'd like to see a lot more smiles out there from people actually making use of what they have left in life than watching my entire generation become crazy, morbidly obese, and just uncomfortable with everything about their life. So anyways, I've been suffering from some of these random coughing fits. And I think right now is going to be a good time to cut the video short because I think this coughing fit's going to take me on into the next few minutes. So I'm going to hold it back for a second. But if you could, please leave me a comment down below. Let me know how I did. This video was a complete struggle. I had a lot of anxiety about even hitting record today because I didn't know how I was going to present myself or even sound because yeah, everything's a mess. I'm still kind of feverish and not feeling well. So hopefully in the next few days and the coming weeks, I can start feeling better and communicate with people a little bit more about the topics of hopefully losing weight and my experience on my weight loss journey and my carnivore journey. I never expected to be a carnivore. I never expected to think I would ever be like, yeah, carnivore's not a bad thing. And so far it's not been a bad thing. I've had far more benefits from eating a lot more proteins and fats than I ever expected. I have more benefits doing this than I ever did doing keto. And there's a lot less pain involved because when I was doing keto, I still hurt. There was a lot of pain there. There was a lot of annoying things going on that carnivore cured for me. So Stay tuned for the next video, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.
If you try, you just